So the competition pool is closed. Swimmers are pleased.
And a very good morning and a warm welcome to Ponds Forge International Sports Centre. This is the BUCS Long Course Swimming Championships 22-23. 3 days of action, 4,200 students, 200 volunteers giving 2,000 hours of service to make these championships run, part of the BUCS Swimming Series and the BUCS Nationals. Plenty of people go ahead in getting this game all sweet and 3 days of sporting action, and it can't go ahead without some very special partners too.
If you're doing BUCS, you should be at AmeriCamp next summer.
And once again, a very big warm welcome, whether you're at home or in the venue watching. This is Ponds Forge. This is the BUCS Long Course Swimming Championship. 3 days of action, 9 sessions in total. Coming up, it is 1A, and this will be 13 events. Our fastest heats in each. We're going to see the 200-metre freestyle in both the women and the open male competition. We'll then move on to the 100-metre backstroke, again both classes, 100-metre butterfly, 50-metre breaststroke, 200-metre individual medley, 4x1 medley relay. That is always an absolute joy, the medley relays at BUCS. And then we end the session with the... Now this is just going to throw a spanner in the works here. The second fastest heats in the 1500-metre freestyle for the women and the open male. Now for all of those other events, we're going to see the 3 fastest heats. The reason we do this, as with every competition every single year, it gives those most likely to be in the finals later, which start from 5 p.m. onwards, by the way, the chance to rest before those sessions. The session 1B, which starts at 12:40, that is the remaining heats in each event, other than the 1500 metres. Because what we're going to do, we're going to see the second fastest heat this morning, because for this event only, we're going to do the fastest heat in the finals from 5 p.m. Have you got all that? Hopefully so. Again, a big warm welcome. I'll tell you what, it has got to be at least 35 degrees here at poolside. It is absolutely boiling hot. But thankfully this year, a new commentary position for the stream, pretty much next to lane number 0. So if it gets too hot, if you see somebody diving in the pool, that's me just cooling off a little bit. Now, we're not too far away from our officials making their way to pool, so I can see them to the left-hand side, just out of your picture. There's a red advertising block behind lanes 4 and 5, which you can see. A couple of people just walking past. Just to the left of that, behind the podium, that's the white blocks on the floor there. We're going to be using that later on this evening. The officials are just waiting behind there. Oh, there's a better view. And that's Marie. She's just closing the curtain there to make it a little bit more exciting when they walk out. And that will just be around about 2 or 3 minutes' time. We're going to try and get on with racing from 9 o'clock on the button. I don't want to jinx this, but BUCS events always run pretty much bang on. They're really, really good, these guys. Again, 200 volunteers giving 2,000 hours of service over the next 3 days. A big thank you to them, as again with our partners that we saw the videos for previously. We'll mention those throughout the day and the weekend. Now, Friday and Saturday run almost identically, and then Sunday, they're very kind. They let us finish a little bit sooner. This final session on Sunday is from 3:45 instead of 5 p.m. And at the end of each day, of course, we have our presentations. We give out our gold, silver and bronzes. Last few checks just being made on the starting blocks. And that's a really good point, just being reminded by our in-venue announcer. Of course, you're going to be on social media over the next couple of days. And if you are posting regards either the BUCS Nationals or this BUCS Long Course Swimming Championships event, please use the hashtag BUCS Nationals. Let us get involved in that conversation. What we're also going to try and do a little bit later this morning, I'll try and get the YouTube chat stream up, because every year it's always, you guys are always brilliant on the interaction, sometimes a little bit silly, but we will always try and read out any messages for loved ones, colleagues, teammates, partners, whoever it may be. I'm actually, with one hand now, just trying and get my laptop open and stream up and running, because why not, let's just do this from the off. iMaker's about 30 seconds away from getting officials coming on here on the left hand side. I do like how they've closed that curtain on the left there. I'm sure there's not going to be any smoke and fireworks and lights and things, but adds to the reveal, doesn't it? I very nearly read out my laptop password there as I was entering it. Okay, let's find this stream, and we will start reading out some messages from you. Also, let us know where you're watching from too. It's nice to know where people are. Generally, people are back at their dorms, at their universities, or sometimes in the venue. But I know we get families, to be honest, across the entire world, which is always great to hear from you. Now, I know some of you... Oh, here we go. Here's our referees. So our referees and team of technical officials will make their way out, alongside some nice bassy music. And already, thank you, some messages coming in on the YouTube chat. Let's go Birmingham from Matt Morgan and Rhiannon Bowen. Oh, you swam recently, didn't you? Yeah, getting FOMO, graduated last year. Let's go Team Surrey. I recognise the name, Rhiannon. On the far side of the pool, our first set of swimmers are getting ready. Again, 200 metre freestyle, women up first. It's officially event 101. It's session 1A. It is day one. Our officials, referees and starters just being named over the in-venue system. They'll get a nice warm round of applause. They'll take their seats. Now, they won't get many steps in this morning or this afternoon, those officials, but it will be quite a hamstring session. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And our first competitors make their way to their starting blocks. And they look raring and ready to go. From lane 0 for the first time this week. And there'll be many, many names you'll see, many swimming time and time again. Lauren Agent, Jessica Applegate, Anya Priest, Amy West, Mia Slevin, Shannon Stott, Maisie Guilford, Mary Mashenko, Erin O'Meara, and Adele Zarskayski. In they go, and I'll continually come back to the stream, so please do, now is the time to start dropping in messages if you're following somebody in particular. I know a lot of you will be, or maybe you're just supporting a team. A message, good morning Mr. Commentator, good morning to you. And it is always good, isn't it, to have a chat on the live stream. Let's use it sensibly. So 200 metres. Freestyle. There will be 3 heats in each event. These are our 3 fastest heats in reverse order. And 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, our 10 finalists will come from these 30 swimmers in each event. Each event will have the women, then the open male. So with 13 events, we're looking at, let's do some maths, 39 heats. That sounds right. No, less, because we're only having 1 heat in the 1500 metre freestyles. 35 heats, that's it. Wow, maths at 9 AM, come on. No surprise whatsoever to see those in the centre lanes. Leading at the front on this occasion, Mia Slevin, Loughborough University. Formidable team, as we all know. And we do have some nice new graphics on our screen, don't we? Look at that. That's very nice. Going to fight back from Shannon Stott, Sheffield Hallam. This is all about times, remember. They're looking to get one of the fastest 10 times out of these 3 heats. Somebody in the later heats, caveat, can always qualify, but they need to have a real bit of a worldy time. But nothing is completely decided until every heat is done from this morning and this afternoon. And Mia Slevin gets it, 2:02.94. Shannon Stott, 2:04.53. Maisie Guilford actually tied second place in that one. So this is officially heat number 6. Yes, it's our second one today. It is heat number 6 on the schedule. So 5, 6, 7 now, and then 1 to 4 later in the afternoon. If you're new to this, you'll get the hang of it, don't worry. And Rhiannon Bowen says good luck to Alicia in the 200 metre free this morning. She's in lane 1 right now. To her side, Caitlin Gibson. To the other side in lane 2, Olivia Butler. Then you've got Amy Monks, Abby Wood, Jemima Hall, Jessica Dickinson, Isabel Wood, Kirsten Powell, and Emma Fleming. Birmingham teammates side by side at 8 and 9. Abby Wood looking comfortable early on. Swimming as a guest here. It's a name you'll all recognise if you're a swimming connoisseur. Incredibly talented and incredibly successful too. Jemima Hall representing Bath in second position. Another name you'll probably recognise. Another great swimming university too. The likes of Loughborough, Bath, Edinburgh. Stirling, historically, incredibly good swimming programme as well. And here comes Abby Wood. And not a shock at all to see her with a body length advantage and more. What time can she get? Looking comfortably under 2 minutes. Yeah, 1:58.85. Very nice indeed. Anybody going under 2 minutes, and there might not be another. Jemima Hall, best of the rest, 2:02.51. And 2:05.08 for Amy Monks. Those times are confirmed in blue on our in-venue scoreboard. And this is heat number 7. Izzy Woolard, Paige van der Westhuis, Amber Downham, Beatrice Varley, Freya Colbert, Evie Davis, Hetty Damassa, Nellie Kinch, Sydney Bairstow and Katie Hammond. And a slightly tighter affair this time. No major advantages, still with the lead down the centre. And as we had in heat number 6 this time, Freya Colbert, hugely successful swimmer. Numerous international medals. She's gone 59.4 through the first 100 metres. As previously mentioned, Stirling, Evie Davis in 5. And Beatrice Varley, Plymouth in 3. Actually, also up there in 7, Nellie Kinch, Evie Davis's teammate for Stirling. They're your top 4, and they have made a bit of a march on the rest of the field here. So what time can Freya Colbert lay down? Can she go any quicker than 1:58? To set the fastest time? No, she won't. She slowed down this second 100 metres. It'll still be one of the fastest 10 times though. 2:02.88. Beatrice Varley 2:04.41. And Evie Davis just a few 100ths of a second outside 2:05. We will let those behind the scenes do the maths and calculate the top 10, because the gents are now ready to go. They'll have their fastest 3 heats in the 200 metre freestyle. And that will be a pattern that we continue right through to the end of session 1A. For those of you just joining us, fastest 3 heats in each event now from 12:40 in session 1B, the remaining heats in every event. And our finals That's what everybody's trying to qualify for from 5 p.m. this afternoon. This is heat 6 of the men's 200 freestyle. You've got Rory McKinnon, Ethan Raymond, Michael Ripper, Jonathan Rutter, Joe Litchfield, Evan Jones, Jordan Cooley, Henry Baker, Ruben Wiesda and Adam Colgan. Standout name here in 4, Joe Litchfield, swimming as a guest. And they have frequented this pool numerous occasions in the past. And he will storm through the first 100 and 52.53. A message on the YouTube chat. We got Let's Go Oxford and Let's Go Jonathan Rutter. The best thing since salted butter. That is brilliant. And no butter favouritism, but his username is Lurpak as well. Great stuff. That's like a bit of a joke that's gone a little bit too far, isn't it? Look at Litchfield go. That is an incredible lead. He's going to go 147, 148 maybe here. We'll put the marker down. Yeah, 148.08. My goodness. Evan Jones for Sterling, 152.74. 100th behind is Michael Ripper for Loughborough. Jonathan Rutter, there he is. The best thing since salted butter. 153.65. Is that going to be good enough for a top 10? Keep your eye on these times. .153 sounds about right. Heat number 7. Hendrik van der Leest, Finley Club, Finn Nickel, Will Bell, Felix Aubeck, Luke Turley, Freddie Ashley Sparks, Arthur Logan, Christos Manoli and Ben Newell. Just for the first time this year, I think this is my maybe 5th consecutive BUCS, or 10 if you include the short course and the long course. First time we've ever been commentary position right at poolside, so just have to be conscious when I'm talking at the start. Generally it's not an issue, but I don't want them to hear me whatsoever. Just noticing a change in the schedule here. Only for the 1500 metres. Looks like we're having heat 1 instead of the second fastest heat. So I'll get that confirmed. So anybody, if you're waiting for somebody in the 1500 metres, just jump on the official schedule. The one I've got printed out is just manually adjusted. So 1500s looks like we're getting just heat number 1 later on this afternoon. Sorry, at the end of this session. And then, let's have a quick look. Yeah, we get... Oh, I'll get it confirmed. I'm confusing myself though. It's not coming up for a little while. But let's jump back into the pool and the important bit. Felix Aubeck and Luke Turley side by side into the last 10-15 metres. They've got a good gap on the gang behind them. And they're going to set quality times here too. Can they go 150 just outside? 150.26 for Aubeck. 4/10 back. Luke Turley swimming as a guest. And then Freddie Ashley Sparks. That 153 mark is really important, right? That is going to be roughly the time. That is, I make that 7 times so far with 153 and change or better. And the top 10 will make it into the final later. So, sub 154. If you get 3 of them in this heat, they'll make it in. However, hang on a second, because you've got James Guy and Max Litchfield in this one, and they could be incredibly quick. Wearing the red caps as guests. Elsewhere, Pierce Greening in lane 0, Jude Lydiard, Josh Williams, Ben Cope, Guy and Litchfield down the middle, look out for them. Charlie Brown in 6, Joshua O'Brien 7, in fact, no lane 6, Arian Din in 8, and Henrik Mascarenas in lane number 9. So no Charlie Brown in 6. So James Guy leads the way with a 51.42. Isn't it great to see all of these swimmers who have competed at such a high level? I mean, James Guy, 2 Olympic Games, 5 World Championships, 7 European Championships and 2 Commonwealths, 45 major medals at international championships and 19 at a global level. One of the most decorated swimmers in British swimming history. What a pleasure it must be to swim alongside. And he smashed it in 1:46.69. Incredible time. Max Litchfield, 1:48.36. So, in fact, 4th place Ben Cope, Sheffield Hallam, 1:53.06. No, Josh Williams, forgive me, 1:52.96. I think Josh Williams has sneaked in definitely to the top 10. Wait on Ben Cope. I think anybody outside 1:54 might be struggling. But do wait and see. Keep your eye on the BUCS website. Links to the official timing. And that is our first 2 events concluded for the time being. Must stress that. We now move on to the 100-metre backstroke. Women up first, and it is heat number 6 officially. It's going to see heat 6, 7 and 8. As always, just 1 backstroke ledge. Playing funny games in lane 1 this time. There we go, all sorted. If you ever see all 10 backstroke ledges in any swimming event go in first time, you shout bingo very loudly. In heat number 6, Eve Salem-Hodges, Lucy Block, Abigail Jolly, Charlie Joyce, Honey Osrin, Molly Garrett, Sophie de Groot, Martha Stead, Madison Turner and Lizzie Burbidge. More support online. Rhiannon Bowen, chief cheerleader today for Team Surrey. Lucy Block on this occasion in lane number 1. Entry times. Honey Osrin, a 1:01.6 representing Loughborough for the 21-year-old. She's fastest in this heat. We do go sub 60 seconds, courtesy of Lauren Cox in heat number 8. So I'm just going to make a prediction here. 104 will likely get you in to the top 10. This is just me guessing, okay? Don't say Ewan said 104 will get me into the final. But 102 Honey Osrin, 102.3, 103.81 for Charlie Joyce, and 104.13 for Sophie de Groot. So they look pretty good. If you're in the top 3 in your heat, in these 3 fastest heats, that's a really good indication of where we're going. And with these, I don't want to throw too much terminology in for new to swimmers, or those new to swimming. Let's get the words in the right order. They are cyclically seeded, these fastest heats, which means, although these are our 30 fastest entrants across the board in these 3 heats, those in the centre 2 lanes, the fastest 6, are split between the 3 fastest heats. So the 5th and 6th fastest go in heat 6, 3rd and 4th fastest are in heat 7, and 1st and 2nd fastest in heat 8. I hope that makes sense. Either way, 30 fastest swimmers across these 3 heats, and surprise, surprise, just one backstroke ledge delaying us just by a few seconds or so. So this is heat number 7. Oh, some very vocal support in the venue. So we've got no lane 1, but we do have Francesca Whiting, Lucy Hitchin, Emily Grant, Neve Ward, Sophie Shaw, Caitlin Ebbidge, Catherine Butcher, Charlotte O'Leary and Charlotte Harris. Neve Ward, a 101.4 coming in. She was 0.7 of a second quicker than Sophie Shaw of Manchester. However, as you can see, in lane 6, Caitlin Ebbidge of Stirling, right up there with Neve Ward. Ebbidge's entry time, 1:03.9, 1.5 seconds behind our fastest Ward. So let's have a look. That's 3 fast times. Neve Ward does take it 1:03.34, way off her fastest time. Caitlin Ebbidge, 1:03.89, second position, and 1:04.12 for Sophie Shaw. They're your top 3. Yeah, I think just outside 1:04 is looking okay. Emily Grant, 1:04.87, might be quick enough to sneak in to the top 10. Let's just wait and see. One more heat to come. Heat 8, final heat. Rosie Domican, Megan Pye, Florence Tinsley, Amy Shields, Lauren Cox, Holly McGill, Amber Ranson, Madeline Soper, Ella Stevenson and Rowan Saunders. So we think the time needed to get into the final, I say we, I think the time needed to get into the final later is going to be 1:04, 1:04.12 maybe. Now Lauren Cox here for Loughborough, the 23-year-old, 59.8 entry time, fastest in the entire event by a solid second and more. Holly McGill next door for Stirling, the 19-year-old, 1:02 on the button. Then you've got Amy Shields and Amber Ranson. They are entry times sub 1:04. So as long as those swimmers can match their entries, I'm going to say they should be okay. No doubt about your winner in this one, Loughborough's Lauren Cox. She's going to go very close again to the minute mark, just outside. She doesn't need to go any quicker than that. Saves herself for the final later. 1:01.7, guaranteed one of those middle lanes too. Holly McGill, 1:03.6 for Stirling. She's okay. Florence Tinsley, 1:03.72. Pretty sure she's going to be okay up there too. The likes of Shields, Domick and Ranson, sadly looking not quite quick enough on this occasion. And that concludes, for the time being, the 100 backstroke for the women. Next up, the open male competition. Same event, same format, fastest 3 heats. And the first guys are already just waiting for the pool to clear. Heat 6, you'll be watching Fabian Brudnicki, Charlie Broom, James Merrick, Toby Hill, Scott Gibson, Sam Greenbank, Jordan McPhail, Francis Dyson, Conor Massey and Ollie Burns. Ollie Burns representing Sheffield Hallam, local uni. Plenty of Sheffield Hallam buildings that you see walking around Sheffield here. I think even between the hotel this morning and the venue, already walked past about 3-4 Sheffield Hallam buildings, absolutely everywhere. Now, entry times for the guys look around about, well, fastest in this one, Scott Gibson for Edinburgh, 24-year-old, most senior swimmer in the pool, 24.7. Elsewhere, anything between 55 and 59. So you might see quite a split in the pool here by the time we get to the finish line. And I'd maybe have expected to see Scott Gibson a little bit further ahead at this stage, and that's me being sort of that's a compliment to him. He's such a good swimmer. He's going to win it by a body length in the end, a 56.22. But that is why I said it, 2 seconds behind his fastest time in his qualifying time. So plenty more in the tank. Charlie Broom, Sam Greenback, 57.57 and a 10th back for the Leeds Beckett and the Sheffield men, 58.60 for 4th place. This is an indication of what is required to be a finalist. Again, if you are just joining us, finals from 5 p.m. this afternoon, and it will be a thriller. Notably, just my personal favourite, the 4x100 medley relays. They are always, the atmosphere in the venue when those kick off is pretty electric. This is seat number 7. Going to be watching Lucas Brown, Ethan Riches, Jack Knight, Zach Speakman, Conor Ferguson, Robbie Hemmings, Jamie Ferguson, Alexander Casey, Viset Sharma and Gideon Helinski. I can see there's only 300 watching on the YouTube stream. Do get any messages of support in the YouTube chat if you're logged in as a YouTube user. I will read out as many as I can. It's difficult during the 50-metre races, understandably, but there's plenty. There's 13 events in total this morning, so plenty of chances to let us know who you're supporting, where you're from, where you're watching from, I mean. Now, look at Conor Ferguson go for Loughborough. Entry time 54 seconds. And he's going to go quicker than that, I think. He is 53.99, 100th of a second quicker than his entry. Zach Speakman, recognise that name, don't we? 56.35 for Stirling. Robbie Hemmings for Bath, 57.01. And 57.11 for Jamie Ferguson. And that is a new BUCS record we're hearing, 53.99 for Conor Ferguson. I do have a list here of BUCS records in the 100 backstroke. I'm just going to confirm that. If they're saying it in venue, I absolutely believe them. And it is absolutely. My goodness, that is a record that's been held since 2010. And Conor Ferguson has just absolutely smashed it. It was 54.42. It belonged to, or it belonged to, is that a word? Yeah. Loughborough's Liam Tancock, 2010. So Conor Ferguson, it stays with Loughborough, of course, but it is a new name on the BUCS long course records list. Well done, Conor. How long can it last? Maybe it'll last a minute, maybe it'll last 13 years, let's see. Because Oliver Morgan for Birmingham has got an entry time of 53.2. So we could literally see a record that stood for 13 years be broken after just 1 minute, potentially. Oh my word. We've got Sam Lawman, Antonio Nicolau, Andrew Brodie, Ollie Morgan, Jack Skerry, Alex Armstrong, Archie Evans, Joshua Goldsby-Taylor and Harvey Jones. Here comes Oliver Morgan. If he can beat 53.99, we'll go from one of the longest records in BUCS history to potentially the shortest. He's coming in towards the wall. Is he going to steal it? No, he won't. Ollie Morgan, 54.96. That would have been rather bizarre, wouldn't it? And devastating for Conor. Jack Skerry for Bath, 57.22. Alex Armstrong at 57.55. Those confirmed on the in-score. The in-venue scoreboard. Once they turn from red to blue, those behind the scenes agree we're good. Oh, just a few messages coming in whilst we were having a bit of fun there. Tyler Billiard says, let's go Ollie. And Kieran Gammon, Josh Gammon goated. And here comes Rhiannon Bowen again. Best of luck to Amy in the 100 ply. Thank you for all of your interactions, guys. It does help the session flow. So, back to the female side of the competition. This is the 100-metre butterfly. Onto the second page of our start sheets here. You're watching Anya Priest, Hetty Damassa, Katerina Price, Chloe Harris, Emily Large, Maddie Robertson, Annabelle Smith, Amy Brainridge, Anna Stansfield and Georgia Gussie. One entry time, sub 60 seconds here. That's of course lane 4, always will be. Emily Large swimming as a guest, 58.6. Across the 30 fastest swimmers here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times sub 60 seconds. So let's make a wild assumption that they all perform somewhere near their best and make it to the final, which means we're looking at about 1 minute, maybe 1 minute 1 to be a qualifying time. Emily Large at 59.85, not near her quickest, but quick enough, and any sub 60 second here is pretty phenomenal. Second place, 102.46 for Katerina Price. Maddie Robertson for Stirling, 103.02. So quite daunting for those that know that the likes of Emily Large can go over a second quicker than she's just done. Heat number 7. Larissa Dean, Jessica Dickinson, Harriet Rogers, Drew Tanier, Kiana McInnes, Kira Schlossen, Millie Scotchbrook, Eliza Pinstone, Abigail Stemp and Charlotte Taylor. McInnes and Schlossen, both sub 60 seconders, representing Stirling and Edinburgh respectively, both 23 years old. And they are neck and neck through the turn. And just edging in front is the Stirling swimmer. Behind them in lanes 2 and 3, Harriet Rogers and Duro Tanier. They're like the only competitors potentially in terms of looking at final qualifying times. 59.1 for Kenna McInnes. 1 minute 11 for Schlossen and Duratania. 102.43. Just out of interest, the BUCS record, seeing as we've had one now, let's start concentrating on these. This 100 metre butterfly, 57.64. Loughborough's Louise Hansen, a couple of years ago, 2022. Heat number 8, Izzy Lee, Lindsay Reeve, Cornelia Fidkovic, Maisie Elliott, Louise Hansen, Lucy Grieve, Izzy Goodwin, Catherine Ealing, Kate Baxter and Olivia Hunter. The BUCS record holder in the pool, Louise Hansen, 57.64 her BUCS record, but her entry time, 57 seconds on the nose. Can she break her own record here? She's certainly going for it. 57.64. She's looking really good here. It 100% is surely 57.31. Absolutely fantastic. However, due to guest status, it won't be official, but she can say she's gone quicker than her own BUCS record. So the record books will not change. Lucy Grieve and Lindsay Reeve, 1 minute 08 and 101.94. They look good for the final. Keep your eye on the BUCS website. I'm just going by my observations here. I am no timekeeper, I am no official, I have no authority whatsoever other than to hold this microphone and talk you through these sessions, which I must stress it's absolutely such a pleasure, honestly. Sitting at poolside, watching some of currently the best athletes in the world and those who are likely to become the next batch of the best athletes in the world, and that's no exaggeration at all. Yeah, heat number 7 for the men's now 100 metre butterfly. Rudwan Mohammed, Stephen Clegg, Charlie Broom, Luke Ibbison, Josh Gammon, Aaron Fox, Antonio Rodriguez, Callum Rose, Maxwell Adams and Will Morris. Josh Gammon, 52.2 his entry. And Aaron Fox, a little bit behind, but just slightly confused there as the times came in, because 54.4, I was expecting Aaron Fox to come in second, but it wasn't. It was, of course, Luke Ibbison, 54.64. So Gammon can go quicker. In fact, they can all go a little bit quicker. Aaron Fox, second fastest on paper, third fastest in the pool. Then Callum Rose, just inside 56 seconds. Heat number 8, Jake Thompson-Mansfield, Aaron Alkers, Kieran Lennox, Andrew Bartoli, Lewis Fraser, Calvin Fry, Brodie Gordon-Gibson, Ethan Raymond, Sam Pipinch and Owen Davies. No Aaron Alkers for Stirling, in fact, in lane number 1, empty lane. Not a lot to separate the guys at the turn. Brodie Gordon-Gibson ahead of Lewis Fraser by a few tenths of a second. On this occasion, again, someone in the centre lanes just falling back ever so slightly. That's Lewis Fraser for Swansea. He's the fastest on paper in this heat, 52 seconds, .00. However, that Calvin Fry I'm referring to. Lewis Fry is just outside really that 54 on a .71. Then Brodie Gordon-Gibson, leader at halfway. Those two guys just switching positions through the second 50 metres. And Andrew Bertolli of Stirling, 55.54. Yeah, Calvin Fry, 57.38, way off his best for Loughborough. As we know, all these guys are going to be competing in multiple events across the next 3 days. And this is already our third and final heat for the time being in this event. Boxing Toe, Christos Manoli, Jack Knight, Ruben Robotham Keating, James Guy again, Tom Carswell, Dylan Gallagher, Peter Allen, Louis Mitchell and Adele Kelly. So coincidentally, as just mentioned, people taking part in multiple events. Just one that stands out, of course, James Guy, 50.6 his entry for this one, which was 1.4 seconds quicker than anybody else in the field. That is what you're dealing with the likes of James Guy. A multiple Olympian, world and European, Commonwealth competitor, champion, 45 international medals, 52.97 his time on this occasion. Tom Carswell, 54.22, and Robotham Keating, 54.85. It is great to have these guest swimmers in the pool. Gives a chance for every other competitor to compete alongside quite literally world-class athletes. Now we cast our attention to the opposite end of the pool because we have some 50 metres coming up. We're going to be starting from the diving board end. And this is the 50-metre breaststroke, female competition, followed by the open male. No change whatsoever. It takes us to about halfway through our schedule as well. This is officially event 107 with 13 events this morning. And our first set of swimmers pick their way to the starting blocks. There's already 18 races we've had this morning. Now, the next 6 will take a roundabout somewhere between 28 and 32 seconds each. So we will fly through these next 6. So if you have been waiting for somebody in a 50-metre race, then don't go anywhere for the next 4 or 5 minutes, because you're a good chance you might miss them. And interestingly, I know you can't see it, but the opposite end of the finishing end of the pool, James Guy, who's just had his second incredible performance of the day or the morning, is just sat next to the official in lane number 4, just having a rest, bit of a chat. He's the only swimmer there. You might see him in a second as the swimmers come back down. Oh, he's just getting up now. You know what, he's 29, he's getting on, isn't he? So I think he needs an extra rest. And now he decides to move on. An early morning's session, well done. Now, our first heat of the 50 breaststroke. You're going to be watching from lane 0. And on the stream, that is from the near side, just in case you can't see the numbers on the side of the starting blocks. Beck Nicol, Lauren Richards, Alicia Cookson, Owen Cook, Archie Goodburn, Tachana Bolonagov, Camelia Stoimanova, Meg SNG, Singh, Gigi Slater and Catherine Danes. And yes, I did read those from 9 to 0. Although I stated where lane 0 was first. Good luck to Emily Farr in the 50 breaststroke from Rhiannon Bowen. Should be going shortly for the time being. Let's have a look down the middle again here. 30.8 the entry time for Bolonigoff. 31.6 for Archie Goodburn. Where's it going to go in for Tatiana Bolonigoff? 31.11. Katie Goodburn, 32 on the button. Then it was Stoimanova, 32.52. Now, I mentioned Archie Goodburn there, simply because on our start sheet here, although on the scoreboard it did have Katie Goodburn, on our start sheet it says Archie, interestingly. So please forgive me. On to heat number 9, from lane 0, Colleen Devlin, Hannah Woodcock, Caitlin Hartley, Anna Morgan, Cara Hanlon, Sienna Robinson, Emily Farr, Molly Monk, Katie Jones and Kirsten Harvey. .5 seconds for Cara Hanlon, quickest for the 27-year-old, most senior swimmer in the pool, about 5 years as well in fact. Elsewhere, anything up to 34 seconds. Really fine margins always in any 50-metre race qualifying. Hundredths of a second can mean being in a final and not in a final. Cara Hanlon will definitely be there, 30.89. Sienna Robinson and Anna Morgan, both sub-32s. Fourth place, Emily Farr for Surrey, 32.92. Will that be good enough for a spot in the final? That's one of those ones that's right on the edge. Heat number 10. From the bottom, you're going to see Sophie Payne, Victoria Russell, Nellie Clark, Lucy Canavan, Sophie Hansen, Agarad Evans, Emily Morgan Hughes, Bethany Walker, Flora Perkin and Imogen Stoddart. Now this, maybe other than Sophie Hansen, who's got a 30.3 entry time, this should be the closest of the lot. Agarad Evans of Stirling, 30.8. And for the rest of the 8 swimmers, only around, well, looks like less than a second separating the rest of the field. And that's exactly how it's playing out. Front 2 leading the way. At the moment, it's Evans ahead of Hansen, going for those centre lanes in the final. 31.21 for your winner, Evans. A couple of tenths back for Hansen. 32.5 for Nellie Clark. And Lucy Canavan, 32.54. So maybe the top 10 time has just got a little bit tighter and quicker. Got to bring it all to the table. Dan Wallach says, let's go Nellie in the 50 breast. She's just gone. Now over to the boys. Tyler Toombs, Ryan Griffiths, Jacob Arman, Usain Cook, Panayotis Panaraitos, Sam Neild, Rafe Dobson, Alex Curry, Mika Van Blurk and Ian Tan. Once again, lane 5, Sam Neild this time, representing Birmingham in the red cap to his side. Rafe Dobson in 6th representing Stirling, and Panaraitos for Swansea. These times will be incredibly close. Yes, they are. That is 6/100ths of a second separating your top 3. Neild, Dobson, Panaraitos in that order. And Usain Cook just outside 29 seconds. As I mentioned a moment ago, it is literally hundredths of a second between potentially being in a middle lane and not even making a final. Heat 9, Max Elkin, Gabriel Fu, Harvey Freeman, Louis Weeks, Greg Butler, Alex Cahoon, Rowan Smith, Charlie Trotman, Nikolai Kuryansky and Ian Delaney. And Austin says up the bath on the YouTube chat. We've got Lewis Weeks for Bath in lane number 3 this time. And he is surrounded by Loughborough, Freeman, Butler and Cahoon in 2, 4 and 5. And it was 4, 5 and 6 that lead the way, because Butler and Cahoon are joined by Rowan Smith, the home swimmer from Sheffield Hallam. But it will be Greg Butler, 28.26. Lovely stuff. His teammate second, 28.65. And Rowan Smith, sub 29 seconds by a tenth for third place. 100th of a second between Freeman and Trotman. And one more heat to come too. There's no way I'm going to even try and guesstimate what is going to be a time good enough for the final heat. It's far too close. And you've got Cameron White, Sam Cornish, Gordon Lee, Conor Bryant, Archie Goodburn, Rory Dixon, Alex Mayer, Olivier Vedren, William Godsell and Liam Murphy. Archie Goodburn, fastest of them all at 27.2 on his entry time. And he will stop the clock in first place at 27.77. So half a second off his best, saving it for the final. Definitely going to be there, definitely going to be in the centre lanes. Archie Goodburn, 28.38. Alex Mayer, Sterling teammate, 28.87. So we'll wait and see. That concludes for the time being our 50 breaststroke. Just for reference, James Wilby has the men's BUCS record in that one, 27.54. So Archie Goodburn, his entry time was quicker than that. Maybe another BUCS record coming in the final. Let's wait and see. Now on to our 200 metre individual medley. We'll start with heat number 2. You've got Elizabeth Brearley, Megan Cairns, Anna Stansfield, Lauren Sharp, Lily Booker, Abigail Miles, Maisie Thornton, Ella Bainbridge, Jessica Miller and Madeline Powell. In fact, no Megan Cairns for Northumbria in 1. So a quick look at some anticipated times here. Lily Booker for Loughborough, 2 minutes 13.4. Now that is 6 seconds quicker than anybody else in the field. We do have some, across these fastest 30 swimmers in these next 3 heats, there are some absolutely standout times. You've got Abby Wood in the next heat, 2:09.5, and then Katie Shanahan in the final heat, 2:09.4. They're the only 2 swimmers with times sub 2:10, and the best of the rest is Lily Booker, 2:13.4. And we go right out to the 2:30s here, a really wide range of times in the 200 IM. So already Lily Booker leading the way, and unless something drastic happens, I just wouldn't anticipate that being caught already. Now we've got some messages coming in on the chat. Excellent. Do keep them up. Drew Peacock says shout out for Maddie Powell for Bournemouth, doing the 200 metre IM coming up soon, from Drew and the gang. Well, there you go, Drew. Good luck to Maddie Powell. Maddie will be going. What heat does she go in? Oh, she's in this one. How silly. She's from Bournemouth in heat number, lane number 9. So much paperwork, and I've got 2 screens, 6 bits of paperwork, a scoreboard, and a live pool in front of me as well. And Rhiannon Bowen says good luck to Maisie in the 200 IM, and she is also in this heat in lane number 6. And James Johnson, go Durham. And Elizabeth Brearley is representing Durham in this heat. And let's jump back to the front then, just as she finishes, Lily Booker, 2:18.26. Now she can go 5 seconds quicker than that. She probably knows that it's very likely that anything sub 2:20 is going to be absolutely fine to get in the final. She didn't need to go anywhere near 2:10 on this occasion. Just needs to get a solid time in the bag. Abigail Miles, Sheffield Hallam, 2:25.11. And a few tenths back, Laura Sharp, 2:25.58. You may even find that a 2:25 could get into the fastest 10, you know. Let's make a mental note of this. 2:25 for Sharp and Stansfield. Because it does, like, distract your mind when you've got times of 2:09 and 2:10. You think 2:25, that can't be enough. But those faster swimmers are so much quicker in a little field of their own that, yes, there are spaces for finalists in the 2:20s and above. Heat number 3. Elena Priestner, Millie Fields, Katie Rees, Chloe Harris, Abby Wood, Rachel Anderson, Rachel Hornby, Eleanor Perks, Lexine McCappin and Rachel Cornford.
Rachel Anderson, 5, 6 Rachel Hornby for Swansea, 7 is Eleanor Perks for Birmingham, 8 Lexine for Glasgow and Rachel Cornford.
And Abby Wood, of course, you know, a former double European champion in the 4x1 and the 4x2 back in Budapest in 2020. A couple of silvers. She's got 2 at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2022, 2 silvers and 3 bronze medals. 4 of those coming in relays. And then very, very recently, and I'm talking, weeks ago in Doha 2024, World Championships long course, 4x200 metre freestyle silver medalist. Abby Wood, a world-class swimmer and on form right now as well. Formidable opponent for anybody in this heat and this event. Any event she's in, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure, I don't know, but I hope we'll see it in those relays later on. I'm not sure if she can swim as a guest. I'll find out if she can swim it in a team as a guest. I'm going to assume not for the time being. Well, just look at her go, isn't it? Just watch and admire. Entry time coming in, 2:09.5. Going to be just outside 2:10, but it could still be the fastest time of all 30. 2:12.82. The only person that could potentially beat her, really, is going to be Katie Shanahan, who's coming up in a moment in heat number 4. Second place in the heat, Loughborough's Rachel Anderson, 2:21.9. So I mentioned previously 2:25 was looking pretty good. It's looking even better now. There's only 2 times they've gone quicker than that in heat number 3. 2:27 was good enough for third for Rachel Hornby. A few tenths back, Chloe Harris. Will 2:27 be enough to get into the final? One heat to find out. Heat number 4, final heat for the time being in this event. Emily Simeons, Abby Winstanley, Izzy Lee, Laura Thompson, Katie Shanahan, Anna Farrow, Lara Turner, Hannah Poulter, Rowan Saunders and Jasmine Campbell. Katie Shanahan, 2:09.4, which is a tenth quicker than the entry time of Abby Wood. No, this is a lot closer than we would have expected. Anna Farrow representing Bath. Entry time is remarkably 8 seconds slower than Katie Shanahan. Katie, just 20 years old, so 5 years younger than Abby Wood. European Junior Championships in 2021, 2 gold medals. One of those was in the 200 metre medley, surprise, surprise. 400 metre medley, she won 3 silvers at that event as well. The European Championships, a year later, again held in Rome, senior level this time. Silver medal at the 200 metre breaststroke. Another of our superstar swimmers here this week. Now, what's her time going to be? We know she can go sub 2:10, but she's not going to do that. But she's getting a time very much good enough to be in the final later and in the middle lane ropes as well. Anna Farrow will join her in the final with a 2:19.67. I'm going to say Laura Thompson will be there with a 2:25.13, as will Izzy Lee, 2:25.54. Outside that, I'm going to hesitate and not speak much further, because that's going to be close. Between 2:25.5 and 2:27, that is going to be like the lane 0 and the lane 9 in the final. So we'll just have to wait. And now, once the females are completed, over to the boys, the open male competition. From lane 0, Lawrence Elliott, Tom Defanes, Sam Williamson, Isaac Dodds, George Smith, Charlie Hutchison, Joshua Press, Robert Burgess, Drew McGregor, and from 2:01 for George Smith, 2:15s on the outside lanes. And by the time we get a couple of heats down the road, Max Litchfield 1:56.6. So it's so difficult now to try and really understand what is going to be a good enough time for the final. So let's just forget that for the time being. Stirling v Loughborough in the centre lane. How many times have we seen this? And Bath with a trio of swimmers in lanes 1, 2 and 3. That is the blue caps on the near side. It's Charlie Hutchinson that leads at the halfway mark. How many times, though, do we see a change on the breaststroke leg? Some fall away, some storm their way through. It can all change, especially in those medley team relays. It is remarkable the differences you can get from first, second, third, and legs 1, 2, and then 3 into 4. It can be just bonkers. It's hard to commentate on because you're trying to remember who was in what position 50 metres ago. My goodness, what a joy to watch. And back they come. It is still Hutchinson. He is leading Smith and Press to his left and to his right. Can George Smith for Stirling come back in the last few metres? He will come back, but he won't get all the way to Hutchinson. The left man will take it, 2:06.28 for Hutchinson. Both those guys can go 4 or 5 seconds quicker. So again, it's just an observation that they know exactly that they're that much quicker, respectively, than the field, that they can just do like a sub 2:08, sub 2:09, and they're going to be okay. Josh Press, 2:08.24. Isaac Dodds, 2:08.95. Sam Williamson also sub 2:10. Heat number 5. Finn Bremer Benjamin Fox Wiltshire, Jay Manners, Jacob Arman, Joe Litchfield, Ben Harrison, John Britton, Joshua Vance, Konstantinos Hadjikons and Yasser Hassan. And a really good question on the YouTube stream here from Leslie Dick. When do we get to see heats 1 to 6? So the way this works at all BUCS events, we see the fastest 3 heats first, which we're seeing now, and then from 12:40 onwards we see the early heats. So you will see heats 1 to 6 from 12:40 onwards, but as we're of course in the Children IM, it's going to be the end of that session, so I cannot give you a specific time, but it will be, I'm going to guess, from sort of like 1:40 onwards, around about that time. But I would tune in from 1 o'clock if you're looking specifically heats 1 to 6 in a particular event, around about that time. But yeah, fastest 3 heats always go first, and then we do the remaining heats a little bit later on, simply because 99 times out of 100 our 10 finalists are going to come from the fastest 3 heats, so we give them the most opportunity to rest until later on in the final session, which also in turn gives us the best show as well. We want the best swimmers swimming at their best, the most rested as we possibly can in those finals. We want to see records, we want to see the best racing, we want to see the fastest times. Now, Joe Litchfield, again, seen him already today, guest here, and he leads the way. His entry time, 1:56.6, 5 seconds quicker than anybody else in the field. It's all about his time here, really. Gold medalist last year at the World Championships was Joe in the 4x200 freestyle, and his time is going to be just outside the 2 minute mark, 2 minutes 75. Also 2 gold medals in 2020 in Budapest at the European Championships, both of those again in the relay. He's an absolutely relay specialist, and of course, as we can see, a medley in particular specialist too. Ben Harrison, 2:07.89, best of the rest, and exactly 1 second further back, John Britton of Imperial, 2:08.89. Oh, we've got a horn here in the venue. Those times confirmed. Of course, one more 8 to come, and you're going to see Ben Newell, Mika van Blurk, Antonis Patsalidis, Ping Chi Lau, Max Litchfield, Evan Jones, Oscar Barlow, Tom Robinson, James Allison and McKinley Houghton. So we've just seen Joe swim, and there we have his brother Max, who has just won a silver medal in Doha in the 400 metre individual medley. So another, imagine that, brothers being that good. It's a bit like the Fitzpatricks in golf. Of course, bringing each other along. Max, the older of the brothers, 29 years old, is Joe, 26 years of age. I'm sure he's going to join his brother here as a heats winner halfway through this one, but already dominant behind Evan Jones for Sterling. He will go sub 60 seconds to halfway, as will Oscar Barlow. 59.09, 59.48 respectively for those two. Then Antonis Patsalidis, 1 minute 88. So just to reiterate the question in the chat there from Leslie, yes, you will see every single heat of every single race will be on the YouTube stream. You won't miss a thing, and even if you are making a cup of tea, the doorbell rings for delivery. Don't worry, it's all on the YouTube stream. You can come back and watch it later. Just press the rewind button on there, or even watch it another day, watch it in the future. It's always going to be there. Max Litchfield then swimming as a guest this weekend. It's a 1:59.98, very nice indeed. That brotherly rivalry. Evan Jones 2:08.85, Oscar Barlow 2:09.27. Oh, they're going to be close, aren't they? BUCS website and the official timing link. And now we're going to get the party started, because this is the 4x1 medley team relays. 3 fastest heats as always. And we're going to see Team York leads 2, leads 1, Southampton 1, leads Beckett, Durham 1, Southampton 2, Durham 2, Northumbria 1 and Warwick 1. So quite simply, if a team has got a 1 or a 2 next to it, that is a team. Teams can enter universities can enter multiple teams. So it's their first and second team. On some occasions, like we've got right now for Leeds, their first and second team are both in this one. If a team has not got a number next to it, they've only got one team, so we don't need to differentiate between 1 and 2. Shouts of "Go Warwick" from James Lewis. Again, keep those messages coming in on the YouTube chat. There must be loads of you watching now. There's so many competitors in the pool. And sadly, we don't have Southampton Team 2 in 6, but we'll crack on, of course. And away we go. Now, I will for the finals later, but I don't have team individual names right now. But when we get to the medal races, there certainly will be. And as you can imagine, if you're watching any other sport, you can just look and go, oh, that's them or that's them. But when they've got swim caps on and surrounded by waves of water, very difficult to identify individuals at a distance with not a lot to go on. What I can tell you, as you can see, we haven't got a Southampton 2 team, but Southampton 1 team are doing the university parade here, leading through the opening leg. Sub 60 seconds on the backstroke for Southampton. That is very, very tidy indeed. Now, big tactics come into play on the medley, because you've got 2 girls, 2 boys. You've got specialists in particular strokes, but we go in a particular order. If you've got a university team here, you've potentially got like 20, 30, 40 swimmers to choose from. You might choose a different team for the final that you might do for the qualifying stages. Yeah, and that is what we get. I have literally seen in person 40, 50 metres caught up between lengths 2, 3 and 4 sometimes. It is absolutely ridiculous what can happen if you've got a specialist like you can literally have world beaters in your team, but where do you place them? And Southampton are absolutely going for this. No change on the breaststroke at all. It was a 106 breaststroke leg, which in itself is very commendable. Oh, we've lost a swim cap. There's a swim cap in lane 2. That is Leeds 1. It's right in the centre of the lane as well. Just going past it now. Get past it with no incident until that will be collected after the end of this race. But no change. Southampton lead. Leeds 1 in second position. Then it's all to play for. Remember, we're racing against time here. Brodie Williams says, I'll bring it up when Bath are in our next race. So that's quite nice, that. Thank you, Brodie. I'm guessing it, I'm assuming it's true. Now this is what I'm talking about, you see. There was a good 15 metres between Southampton and Leeds 1. They will now go into the final leg, side by side, onto the freestyle. This is a 100-metre freestyle race now for the win. In lanes 7 and 9, Durham 2 and Warwick 1, fighting for third place in the heat. They're racing for times here. Winning this heat doesn't mean anything other than a little bit of pride. You've just got to get one of the fastest 10 times, and then showdown later. It'll be about 6 o'clock tonight we see the final of this event. I already can't wait. And it is going to be Leeds that are going to come home. Southampton led for the first 300 metres. They were tied for the next 350, but the final 50, Leeds won. Great performance, and back come Leeds Beckett in 4. My word, what a final leg for Leeds Beckett. Push Southampton down a slot. That is remarkable. Now, for some reason, on our inboard venue, in-venue scoreboard, I had Southampton as 9th. That is a mistake, and it's got Durham 1 as 3rd. Unless there's been a DQ. Hang on. I really hope not, because that was such a good race. I want to see that repeated later on. But Leeds 1 took it in 4:17.79. Leeds Beckett were second, 4:18.79. Exactly a second back. And there's Southampton, 4:20.25. Well, that was a anxious couple of moments. And there was a DQ. That doesn't affect our top 3. Durham 2 were DQ'd in lane 7. Oh, aren't these races just brilliant? Heat 4, Sheffield Hallam 2, Nottingham, Manchester, Stirling 2, Stirling 1, Swansea, Manchester Metropolitan, Surrey, Oxford and Glasgow 1. So a 20-metre turnaround, and then Leeds Beckett. I didn't even have them on my radar in the last 100 metres, but they came through to take second. A brief issue with a backstroke ledge. I know we can get underway at the second attempt. Go the Saints, St Andrews, says Stuart Stevenson. St Andrews running number 5. So thank you, Stuart, for getting that message in so early. I genuinely do appreciate it. Getting the messages in early, I do sincerely make notes in the schedule here on my paperwork to come back to messages. So if you're sending me a 50-metre, good luck. During that 50 metres, I'm never going to read it out. I'll never have time. So do give me a heads up, who you're supporting, what they're competing in. So name, what event, what heat if you know it, makes my life a lot easier. That would be brilliant, and where you're watching from as well. So early doors, it is Surrey, 58.31 on the backstroke. Great job. And Manchester Met 59.6. And Swansea, the only three teams go sub 60 on the first 100 metres. And it is going to be a lot of change as we approach the halfway mark. The Sterling 2, Sterling 1 now finding their feet, or finding their fins. Oxford 2, as in Oxford TOO, not Oxford 2 numerical. And Manchester Met will lead the way. The early leader Surrey will just fall back slightly into the pack. Through comes Sterling 2 and Sterling 1. Well, the two Sterling teams were 4th and 5th through 100 metres. They're now 2nd and 3rd. And I'm going to say, in fact, that Sterling 2 now take the lead. Never take your eyes off a medley relay. And they will start to move away. Sterling 1 and 2. In 6, it's still Manchester Metropolitan. Leaders through 100 metres hanging on. But Swansea now fighting for that 3rd place spot. They take it on the turn here. Going to go into 100 metres of freestyle. And it's going to be Sterling, Swansea, Manchester Met. And then, looking like in the white cap on the far side, Oxford. But just look at the split here now. Unrecognisable from the opening 100 metres. So the Sterling teams backloading their tactic quite clearly. And you can't see anybody challenging the top 3 now. Sterling 2, Sterling 1, Swansea. Manchester Met hanging on for 4th place. And this is a university internal battle here between the Sterling teammates. And this will be a friendly fight, no doubt. But it does mean that we could very likely have 2 Sterling teams in our final. Potentially then 8 medalists for one university in one race. And it is Sterling 2, 4:02.1. Around a second and a half quicker than their counterparts. Swansea take 3rd place, as we knew, 4:05.81. Oxford did steal 4th. Surrey, early leaders, finishing in 5th. Manchester Met in 6th. And Glasgow and Sheffield Hallam. Those times confirmed in venue, and we can go on to our final medley heat. Now, are we missing 2 universities here? We've got no St Andrews, no Marjon in lane 0 and 1, and we're going ahead. Yeah, so sorry, Stuart Stevenson, there is no St Andrews in the pool this morning, and no Marjon either. We do have Birmingham, Bath, Loughborough, Edinburgh, Sheffield Hallam, Aberdeen, East Anglia and Glasgow. Now, for Bath, apparently, I'm trusting Brodie Williams here, what he's saying, in that Jack Skerry and Leah Crisp are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're both competing together for Bath. How sweet. they say. I'm taking that as true. I know that people sometimes lie just for jokes, but I'll trust on this occasion. In lane 2, it's Birmingham that will lead early doors. And not a lot to separate Loughborough, Edinburgh and Aberdeen. This is our third and final heats in this event. And then we have the 1500 metre freestyles to close out the session. All change at the front. Edinburgh lead the way through the breaststroke. Butterfly leg. Edinburgh leads ahead of Aberdeen and Loughborough. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
As expected, 25.67 with 50 metres split from Loughborough on that first 50 fly. They now have over a body length just after one swimmer. It will be female versus female on the top 3 teams. Only one now, in this final step. So do keep half an eye on Bar, who are going to gain some places on this final 100, but Loughborough lead comfortably with just over 50 metres left to go. 4:02.10 is the time they need to go if they want to get lane 4 in tonight's final. Originally at 9.2, so Loughborough may have to come back in a 31 point in order to achieve that. You'd expect them to here. Bar closing the gap. They're going to be far behind defending champions and quadruple holders Loughborough. Alongside, of course, the Loughborough University, who touch underneath the 4-minute marker. 3:59.27 for the record holders. Bar touch second, 4:01.65, so they will go in lane 5. It'll be Loughborough versus Bar in the final. Loughborough in third position. Result official and on the board for you. Loughborough and Edinburgh are your 1, 2, 3 in 5. Coming up next, the female 1500 freestyle. Heat 1 will be on the way.
Please forgive me, technical malfunction. Just sorting something out this end. Oh, what did I miss? Now on to 1,500 metres, and I believe we're just going to see heat 1 here, as opposed to, on the paperwork, was initially heat 1 and 2, but I do understand it's just going to be heat 1 now. You may even have heard it over the ambient whilst I was sorting some things out. In the pool right now. Yoshi, Nike, Amelia Esch. That's a great name. In lane 0, Emily Riak, Cara Gordon, Emily Forward, Olivia Sheehan, Layla Flower, Lucy Cadden, India Marshall and Alyssa Basinger. And James Lewis, great to have you still on the chat here. He says, come on Alyssa and Yoshi. Once again, a massive thank you to all of our volunteers.
As we come up to the 200 metres mark, there are 5 swimmers out here and front back here. So about 5 metres ahead of the rest of the chasing field.
Yeah, a big thank you to... We've got 200 volunteers over these 3 days, and they give 2,000 hours of support here, and it literally, we cannot have this event without those volunteers. It doesn't work, it can't happen. So a massive thank you. If you're online this weekend, use the hashtag BUCS Nationals. I want to say online, if you're talking about the event during the next 3 days on your socials, give us a shout, let us get involved in the conversation with you. This long course championship, of course, part of the BUCS swimming series. Got the short course, which we had at the end of last year. The long course right now, and then April, it's the team event as well. The team championship. And just for reference, as I've got it in front of me, the record for this event. Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I remember that. Yeah, Fleur Lewis. Last year, representing Loughborough, 16:28. And I'm really chuffed that we've still got 200 people watching on the stream as we get to towards the end of the session. Now, I did mention this is part of the BUCS Nationals, and over these 3 days it's not just swimming going on. There's indoor athletics, there's badminton, climbing, karate and fencing. Talk about an eclectic mix of sports for these BUCS Nationals. They are taking place in 4 of Sheffield's most iconic sporting venues. Again, 4,200 students approximately taking part, and a good fair few of them are going to be the best in the world in their respective sports over the next decade. Always happens, always from BUCS, bringing through the next generation of world beaters. There's a good luck to Chris Finch in the 200 fly later this weekend. Getting that one in early, thank you very much. And there was also a Let's Go Tallulah for the 100 fly heats. They will be, let's have a look. So the next session, session 1B, is from 12:40 onwards. And where's my bit of paper gone? There it is. And they are going to be event 5 in that session. So you might see Tallulah. I'm around about sort of 1:20 later on this afternoon, Jason, but switch on from 12:40 just in case.
500 she was on 5:48.67, so she's about a tenth of a second outside her lifetime best. Swimming this entirely on her own, it will be interesting to see how close she can get to her time. And worth mentioning as well that the 1500 doesn't have a heat and a final. It is heat declared winners. The fastest heat will be swum in tonight's final session. But it is, of course, possible and plausible that a swimmer could medal in this first of the 2 heats. So swimming as fast as you can, certainly in your interest. Let's see, here, 600 metres turn.
Now I've just found at the back of my paperwork the actual entry times for these heats, which is nice to have. So Olivia Sheehan, fastest on paper, 17:43.9 for the 19-year-old. She's currently in 3rd place behind Layla Flower. Only by a couple of tenths of a second. Then the girls, of course, in 4 and 5. Because out in front, representing Swansea, is Emily Forward. She's a 17:47.3 entry. So those girls in the middle, yeah, Forward, Sheehan and Flower in lanes 3, 4 and 5. I mean, over the course of 1500 metres, 4 seconds separating them. Not right now in the pool, but on entry times here. And then the rest of the pool, there's almost 20 seconds plus to the rest of them. So either Emily Forward, let's try and work this out. Emily Forward's having a great time, and Olivia Sheehan and Leigh Flower are off the course for their personal bests, which is letting the likes of Lucy Cadden, India Marshall here, keep right hot on their heels. But Emily Forward having a solo swim right now. And just to clarify too, the 1500 metre events for both the female and the open male, they are heat declared winner events. So that means they're not qualifying for a final, they just swim the 2 heats. The fastest heat will be later on today. And quite simply, you put all those times together and the top 3 win the awards. Now, you can assume, quite rightly so, because the second heat is going to have the fastest 10 swimmers in it, that the likelihood is that the gold, silver, bronze is going to come from that heat, okay? However, when you have a situation like now, where Emily Forward is having a really good swim here, if she went on to absolutely smash her best time and do something like, she was at 17:47, she would have to go, let's be perfectly honest, I'm just looking at the heat times for later. She could have to take about 45 seconds potentially off her PB, but she could get a medal. So nothing is absolutely written until all of those times do come through. Now, my YouTube stream is just about to die because my laptop is running out of battery, so I'm just going to navigate myself to a charger here and try and plug that in, because I don't want to lose you. That's a lovely message from Tyler. Been enjoying the commentary, thank you. Just recently got into the BUCS sporting events here from the USA. Wonderful production all round. Tyler, I will pat myself on the back, and I will pat whenever I see a member of the production team on their backs as well. Thank you. That does mean a lot. I mean, it is. We've got some new graphics this year, which I very much approve of. Those nice and red and grey ones on the screen. Really in with the BUCS branding. That plug socket didn't work. And I hope my commentary about finding plug sockets is as thrilling as my swimming commentary. There we go. We're in. I'm not going to lose you. Excellent. Emily forward, still leading the way. And the pack behind. Sheehan, Flower and Cadden. Not a lot at all to separate them. A couple of metres maybe. So this really comes down to her time. Coming towards the last 500 metres. She'll get shown the number 10.
So now for 1,000 metres, 11:46.92 was Emily Forward's split. She just got 11:43.52. So she is more than 3 seconds underneath her one-time best splits right now.
Oh, just overhearing from the in-venue here. He's got access to some split times. I mean, we can see them on the screen about personal ones. And currently, Emily Ford is 3 seconds quicker than her personal best on split times, which is great. Final 300 for our leader, and this is really just coming down to now about what time Emily Ford can swim. 14:07 on the clock thus far.
That is down from 14:11.45.
And the three chasing. A little bit of a break-up in the order. Only that Olivia Sheehan has now overtaken Layla Flower. Just wonder if Southern India Marshall can get back into this race too. She's in the white cap over on the far side in Southern. Nobody's going to catch our leader, but she might just get involved in that race. She's representing Aberdeen. And then I wonder, what are we going to get today? Is it bells or is it going to be whistles? I can't see bells. It will be whistles, I can confirm. with 100 metres to go, we'll be getting whistles today. And Emily Forward will hear hers first.
All right, final 200 more on Simmons.
17:47, just a reminder of Forward's entry. She's been splitting around about 1:14 or so. So we'll be able to give her a fairly good guesstimation of her finishing time shortly. She's going to be really close to it, you know. Coming into the wall for about 16:30, plus 1:14 gives her about a 17:47. There's our first whistle.
100 to go. 16:30.58 on that turn.
This will be very, very close
6 seconds underneath her lifetime best. This is a
for Forward. She is under her best right now.
Swansea University.
Is there fatigue in those legs though? 17:47 to beat. And the further she gets down the pool to halfway, the much more likely it's looking as well. Yeah, absolutely. Surely she's going to beat it. You've got 40 seconds to come back with. She could beat this by 5 seconds, you know. Might not be good enough for a medal, but it's improvement, it's progress. That's what all these swimmers are looking for. Don't slow down now. She's keeping it going, keeping the arms turning over. Final 10 metres, lifetime best coming up. She can absolutely smash it, isn't she? A good 7 seconds or so. 17:40.44. A PB by 7 seconds at the end. She sped up over the last 100 metres. She knew what she was doing. And she raises her hand towards the gallery, towards her coach, her teammates. She's seen the time and she knows what she's done. Well done, Emily Forward, representing Swansea. In second place, Lucy Cannon for Sheffield, home swimmer. 18:06.12 for her. And that beats her PB by 0.3 of a second. Excellent. Olivia Sheehan for Birmingham, 18:11. She can go a fair bit quicker than that, not her day to day. And India Marshall, 18:13. In fact, that's a PB for India Marshall too, by a couple of seconds. 2.3 seconds. Layla Flower, she can go quicker than 18:14 on her day. Emily Riak for Aberdeen, 18:41. Yeah, 18:26 her entry. Cara Gordon, 18:50. On the outside lanes, we're going to see, well, first of all, coming home to finish will be Elisa Basinger for Warwick on 19 minutes. Her PB was 18:51. And then Yoshi Naik, Emilia Esch. She has a 19:04 entry. It's really got to be bang on it in the 1500 meters. If you're slightly off, you're not quite feeling it. This isn't like 50 meters where you might miss out on your personal best by 1.5 seconds if you're not on a good day. If you're not having your best day in the 1500 meters, yeah, you're adding potentially like a minute to that. But full admiration, hats off. Rather than myself. 1500 meters, again, it's about 30 degrees in here. It has cooled down since this morning, I must say. Literally beading a sweat this morning on the forehead when we arrived. It was absolutely roasting. I think somebody's opened a vent somewhere in this fairly big venue. Can already see the gents raring and ready to go. And in will come Yoshi. She'll be outside the 20-minute mark. That doesn't matter. She's a BUCS athlete. Only the best of the best get to swim here. And it's a 20:21.48 to close out that heat. And next we'll do exactly the same. with the open male.
And the official results are on the scoreboard. In the pool now, we are on to events 113, which is the open male 1500 metres freestyle with heat number 1. In meet number 1, we have in lane 1 from Glasgow, Ewan Walker. In 2, from Nottingham Trent, David Coyle. In 3, from Birmingham, Daniel English. In 4, from Birmingham, Daniel Cox. In 5, also from Birmingham, Daniel Menzer. In 6, from Sheffield Hallam, Ethan Ellis-Sixsmith. And in 7, from Glasgow, Alexander Bell. That's the 61-second split time passes there by Daniel English of Birmingham in lane number 3. It's the 4 swimmers in the central lanes who are leading out with clear water behind them and the chasing pack.
Right then, into our final heat of the session from lane 1. Now we do just have the 7 swimmers in this one. From lane 1, Ewan Walker representing Glasgow. In 2, David Coyle for Nottingham Trent. In 3, 4 and 5 representing Birmingham, Dan English, Dan Cox and Dan Menzer. In 6, for Sheffield Hallam, Ethan Ellis-Sixsmith. And in 7, representing Glasgow, Alexander Bell. Entry times, Dan Cox, 16:17. And only about a minute or so separating the entire field. There's Alex Bell, 17:18, and Ewan Walker, 17:30. As we've seen though, you can be 15 seconds quicker, 1 minute slower. You do take, especially on the longer events, the entry times with a bit of a pinch of salt, just as a guide only. Now, for those of you watching, I have just heard a rumour, and it's quite an exciting one. Okay? Now, apparently, tonight, Dan Whiffin may attempt a world record in the 1500 metre freestyle if he really goes for it. That is what we're hearing. Dan Whiffin possibly going for a world record in the 1500 freestyle tonight. Well, we talk about BUCS records, wouldn't that be something? A world record in the pool here. Thank you to Georgia and Guy Jackson. Good luck to all the Portsmouth swimmers this weekend. Three days of action. Dozens and dozens of events, both the female and open male. And plenty of chances to support them. We do hope you join us throughout. So it's currently 10:56 on my watch. The next session is due to start at 12:40. Of course, warm-ups prior to that, so if you're a spectator just watching along, you just need to be 12:40 as your time. Of course, if you're a swimmer watching, no. Your warm-up will begin about an hour prior to that. So please make sure you know your own personal times to be where and when. And of course, between sessions, if you are online and looking for something to watch, it is of course the BUCS Nationals. It's not just swimming this weekend. And today, multi is a 6-event competition, or 6-event weekend, as well as the swimming, your indoor athletics, my favourite, other than the swimming of course, badminton, climbing, karate and the fencing. It's all happening, and watch it all. Yeah, we couldn't really have much of a polar opposite of our female heat number 1, where we had the outright leader from the off. We've got 3 guys, all from Birmingham, all called Dan, which is a commentator's nightmare. But they're all going for it right now. Let's hope they separate slightly towards the end. All of them in red cap and black trunks as well. Give us a chance.
Just 2 100s ahead of his teammate. He's alongside number 4. And it's time going for about 40 lengths up on another teammate, Dan Robinson, in lane number 3.
Where are you going? Yeah. Let me just put some trunks on, like shorts on.
So we're now up to halfway on heat number 1 on the open now 1500 metres freestyle. Brandon Cox turned out with 8:14.13. Just 1 tenth behind the corner. Mentor Brilliant and 8:15.02.
over the halfway stage. Still the three Birmingham Dans out in front, although just tailing off ever so slightly Dan English. 600 metres to swim. And you would still consider them a trio right now. Nowhere near enough to say either one is, or English is going to fall back too far. Everything can change. Behind them, to bring you up to speed here, Ethan Ellis-Sixsmith, 10:14.19 to 900 metres. And not far back from he, David Coyle, 10:19.53. But other than your top three, it is a split pack. And we'll talk things in with the last couple of 100 metres to go and see if any of them can break away.
It's really close here between the two Daniels of Birmingham in 4 and 5. Shoulder to shoulder then for these swimmers. And about 5 metres behind them, their teammate Daniel English in lane number 3. Playing the role these swimmers can have a good 15-20 metres ahead of the rest of the chasing swimmers in heat number 1.
Yeah, fascinating to watch this between the two teammates in the centre golden lanes, both with the red hats of the University of Birmingham. And with Cox in 4, Daniel Menza in 5. It seems almost every 50 they change who's in the lead. Neither of them are on track for a lifetime best here. They're a good distance away from one, but 20 seem to be making each other on. Unfortunately, I don't have data for Daniel Cox's lifetime best splits. I do for Daniel Menza. And so 100 metres he was at 13:24.17. He's going to turn here at 13:21.43. So he is 2 to 3 seconds underneath his lifetime best. Cox just had considerably faster PB. It's not necessarily on.
Approaching the final 250 metres then, and 3 has become 2 for the Birmingham boys. There's Daniel Cox and Daniel Menza separated by half a second into that final 250. And just for reference, the freestyle 1500 record is a 15:02.92. That is held by Dan Whiffin. Set that last year alongside the 800 metre BUCS record at the same time last year, 8:02.49 that one. Dan Whiffin does go later. In case you missed it, we're excited. Dan Whiffin potentially going for a world record. We'll wait in anticipation. We know how good he is. He is phenomenal. I mean, world class, doesn't do it justice. He's better than that. He's in the absolute elite. And a pleasure to have him with us tonight. And this weekend, of course. Maybe we're looking to do the same in the 800s. That will be one of our last events of the session tonight. So what a way to end it would be. Now then, this was looking incredibly close, hundredths of a second close. However, I feel like Dan Cox has noticed the number 4 about 75 metres ago and said, right, it's time to go. He doesn't want to wait for the whistle, which you'll hear in a few seconds now. But he's pushing away from Dan Menza. Dan English, and he's got 3rd place, absolutely wrapped up here. And he's not going to catch the front 2. It's really a matter now of whether Dan Cox can hold off Dan Menza. And your money would be on the answer yes. The entry times for these two guys, Dan Cox a 16:17 and Menza a 16:34. There is 17 seconds on entry and PBs separating these two. However, right now it's around about 4 or 5. So Menza having an absolutely great time. Dan Cox doing what we would expect, quite likely. However, he's going to be way off his personal best here. He's not going to beat the 16:17, but it will be a heat win, and it will be a marker put down for the heat later on tonight. Because there's 3 medals up for grabs. As we always say, this is a heat declared winner event. It doesn't guarantee, yes, 99% of the time, doesn't guarantee that the 3 medals are going to be in that race. So Dan Cox right now will set a time to beat for the heat tonight of 16:41.48, well off his personal best. It very likely won't be good enough, but it is a heat win. A bit of pride against his teammates as well. Dan Menza comes in 2nd place. Dan English will come in 3rd, 16:44 and 16:51 respectively. So there are your top 3. The best of the rest, some of them still going on to their final 100 metres. But it'll be David Coyle for Nottingham Trent that will take 4th place in a beautiful bright pink cap and green swim shorts into. That's a combination, isn't it? His time 17:17. With every swimmer so far outside their personal best. Ethan Ellis 6 Smith, that's a tongue twister, for Sheffield Hallam 17:22 takes 5th place. Alexander Bell for Glasgow will pick up spot 7. So entertaining, not the best times for any of our swimmers, but we do know that tonight 1500 metres, there's a potential. Dan Whiffin will rocket out the blocks and keep it up for as long as he can. Could happen here in Sheffield tonight. Ewan Walker, representing Glasgow, will close out the heats, the events and the session. It'll be session 1A all done, and we will come back from 12:40. So Ewan Walker, representing Glasgow, closes things out. The winner though, Dan Cox, great swim for Birmingham, 16:41. It's a Birmingham 1-2-3. That closes the heats and the session. Big thank you to our officials and volunteers, and a big thank you, of course, to our event partners. We'll see you again at 12:40. We'll leave you with them for now.
You're doing BUCS, you should be at AmeriCamp next summer.